Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me. Cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. What is going on, everybody? This is your boy Tay for Project Open Mic, back at it again. We are here with another show, and tonight, hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all are doing great. Hope y'all are keeping hydrated. That's for sure. Put my lovely mug on the screen. Hope you guys are keeping hydrated, of course. Yes, because I am. Because, man, it's starting to get hot out there. And for my environmental people up there who, want to keep the environmentalists, who want to keep the, my energy, this is the time where the sun shines the most, where my power bills has gone down from $100 in the winter, well, a lot more money in the winter, $200 something dollars, because again, you don't get enough power for that, to about $26. That's how it goes. So with that said, yeah. So tonight, if for people who have not known, we have again, remember you can check us out and Facebook at TT Records, Facebook /Facebook/TT Records, Twitch Project Open Mic, Temper FM Project Radio T3, YouTube or Project Open Mic, of course. Then we have, of course, Stitcher, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and of course Spotify. You catch us on Spotify. So, without getting the pleasantries out of the way, tonight's show we're talking about the kids. We're talking about the mass shootings. We're talking about the kids. Again, I've done 3 videos. There's 3-part video. You go on YouTube, you should be able to go to Project Open Mic, and if you want to listen to it, I will start putting the stuff, some of those stuff I think that's very important like that on Spotify so you guys can catch it. But we put 3 we did 3 parts of how we, and I'm talking about just the current generation who are having kids right now, are failing our kids. And we're failing our kids miserably by the standards of in the past. So after last week when I talked about certain things, and the last 2 weeks I should say, I'm gonna bring home again more and just focus more on the kids per se. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little about Joe Biden, just have a little humor here and there, but I want to talk about the children as we are really setting them to fail. And again, it comes up because of the whole pride stuff that kind of puzzles me. It does. So we're gonna get in that a little bit. Let me get into that a little bit. So, with that said, I had a part to play, and I apologize. Again, I'll have to scan it quickly because it is about the kids, and I'm trying to see if we can find where did we put the kids part of this. I'm looking at my phone so I can see it.
Breaking Elon Musk news is he is
okay. Nope.
Uncool, and number two, there's got to be a reason. And he's thinking, cover. That might be the dodge. You're right.
I want to get to the part because I want to talk about the thing that I brought up last week, which was basically the children in Chicago or what they're about to be facing.
We got an email just, I think it was yesterday, somebody saying, hey, what is it with you guys and Dr. Oz? What do you not like? But he's just, well, it's as good as, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so I'll have to really apologize for that situation. So let's see what we have here. I want to bring up, because again, it is the kids. Oh God, so we know we have the shootings and stuff like this, and I want to play this part right here. Now, I know people will say the word of voting and stuff like this is somebody I voted for. And I can tell you right now, I am very proud that I voted for this man. And I want you to hear this man's speech. I won't really get into it too, I want you to hear it nicely and good for this man. Because this man right here is our Lieutenant Governor, Mark Robertson. And he makes no words. And I like what he said at the NRA. I know people don't like it in some cases, but then you find out a lot of things like, not the way it is, but I want you guys to hear this man speak about the situation, about these shootings.
All of those wonderful, first and foremost, for all of those wonderful blessings. Well, let me say first off that my heart is broken for the people of Uvalde. Those parents who lost children, those loved ones, all those friends, neighbors who are suffering. You know, I'm reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln when he said to Mrs. Bixby, who had lost 5 sons in war, how weak and fruitless any words of his must be to try to comfort her. And it's the same here. I can't imagine the horror, the tragedy, having your child go off to school and then see them no more alive. Breaks my heart, absolutely. And when I heard about it, I shed tears. I did. When I look at my own grandchildren, my grandchildren are about that age. And I can't help but think, what if it was one of mine? How heartbroken I would be. The pain that would be in my household today. The pain that's in those households right now. So I paused, I took a breath, and I said a prayer. Because that's what we need right now. That's what those families need right now. They need comfort. They need strength. They need wisdom. They need someone who actually cares about what they are going through. And that's what we need to give them. But you know, when I look at my grandchildren, I am also reminded of why.
Hyundai Santa Fe versus Honda Passport.
Because here it is, this nation, stand up and protect your home from any enemy. I am also reminded of why. I am a law-abiding, armed, patriotic American. I'm reminded of why I believe in the premise of our Second Amendment when I look at those babies. I'm reminded why our framers put it in our Constitution, that in this nation, you are not the second responder, you are the first responder, and that you have an absolute duty and a right to stand up and protect your home from any enemy, foreign or domestic. And so, I am here today, much to the chagrin of many of the leftists back home in my state, who thought I should cower and stay home and not come here and continue to protect that right for those law-abiding citizens back home in North Carolina and for the law-abiding citizens of this nation. Because here it is. Here it is. Everybody says, what do we do? What do we do? How do we stop this? What do we do? The answer is not simple, but there is a simple starting point. And here it is. Secure our schools.
Yep.
Stop waffling and wavering and acting confused that you don't understand what the problem is. You have defunded the police, derided the police,
yep.
and you have left our schools as soft targets.
Yep.
And you continue to do so, and as such, we need to defend and secure our schools.
Exactly.
We need to make as much of an investment in securing our children as we do our airports. We need to make as much of an investment in securing our children as we do our banks and our money. And hear me when I say this, leftist politicians in Washington, D.C. We need to make as much of an investment protecting our children as the American people do in protecting you.
Amen.
You spare no expense.
Amen.
Buying every weapon known to man. Buying every metal detector known to man. Every modern convenience, you have it at your disposal to protect you behind the walls that you live in. But you are bound and determined to leave our children defenseless. And now you are bound and determined to leave the law-abiding patriotic citizens of this nation unarmed and defenseless. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, get your pencils out, lick them, and get ready to write this down. It is not going to happen. We are not going to go off into that good night without standing up for our rights. It's time for the law-abiding American patriot in this nation to stand up and say, hell no, we will not go, and you will not take them, and we will continue to stand strong for what we know is right.
Exactly.
We will protect ourselves. We will protect our children.
True.
And we will protect the freedoms that God has given us and that has been enshrined in our Constitution. We will not lay down. You hear me when I say this. Hear me when I say this, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and any other leftist, communist, Marxists out there.
Hi, I'm JT, and I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives.
Lord.
Let me just tell you.
It's so funny that when you play this stuff the first time I heard his speech, they had no worry about none of this stuff. And now I'm playing it live. Now the commercials are coming out.
What I need for you to do is do this. I need for you to take these two fingers, stick them in your ears, and clean the stuff out of them. And hear us all as we say in unison, shall not be infringed, will not be infringed. We will not allow you to strip us of our rights so that you can bring us to our knees. Because we know what your machinations are. See, we've seen this movie before. We've seen it. We saw it in a place called Russia. We
Yep.
saw it in a place called Germany. We
Yep.
saw it in a place called China. We saw it in a place called Cambodia and Vietnam. And we saw it most recently in a place called
Venezuela.
When the people are disarmed and the government have all the guns and all the power, they always become despotic. Well, not in this nation. You will not tap dance on the graves of these children to disarm the people of this nation. In
Amen.
fact, if you put as much energy into doing that as you do with that political tap dance, into securing these schools and shoring them up and stop making excuses,
you have less.
Mike could make a dent on this.
Yep.
So guys, here's what I'm going to leave with you today. Don't be afraid. When the newspaper asked me before I left home, was I coming to the NRA convention? My answer was yes. And the reason why I was going was to defend the rights of law-abiding citizens in my state and across this nation. Because, guys, it's time for us to stand up and push back. The lies that have been told and continue to be told are not only threatening to strip our rights away from us, they are literally causing life to be lost on the streets.
Yes.
See, down in Uvalde, Beto O'Rourke didn't care about those children. He was willing to spit in their faces for political purposes.
Yep.
The news media.
Yep.
The news media.
Yep. Because I played that part when Beto was doing that. That was not the time to do that. You could have done that any other time, but that was not the time to do that. And that long neck little that long, you know.
You piece of loser.
He just, it was just crazy.
Silent. When children are killed in Chicago at genocidal rates, they
Exactly.
stand silent. But as soon as they take a chance, as soon as they see a chance, take a shot at their political enemies, they're Johnny on the spot and they're right there ready to do it. Well, we need to be bold. We need to stand up because on this side, we have the solutions. And it's time for us to start pushing those solutions.
Yep.
And it starts with protecting our children in our schools. Time for messing around is over, folks. And the time for blaming law-abiding citizens should have never begun. It is time to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. And it's time to look towards those ineffective elected officials who refuse to move and do the right thing, but instead take the easy way out. If any way out, it needs to be them out of office.
Yep.
We need to replace them with some law-abiding folks that are going to stand up for us. So, guys,
Yep.
don't be weary in well-doing, and do not be afraid to stand up for what's right. Because what we're standing up for indeed is right. Stand strong, stand brave, stand proud. Do not back down, and never forget, shall not be infringed. That is our motto, and that's what we will fight for. God bless you all. God bless Texas. God bless North Carolina, and God
bless America.
the United States of America. Thank you.
That man, that's where you know you find the right person. In my opinion, I had no problem putting down that man to be when I voted in the last election, not this local election, but in the last major election. Mark Robertson got my vote then. He will get my vote in the future. He is the type of Republicans I like. Why? Because he's not ballless. He's not sackless. He stands on what he said he's going to do. Now, you know, Terry Crews, he's a little bit of wishy-washy. So there's a lot of people who are wishy-washy. That's what I said. The Democrats, in my opinion, are very dangerous because they just do a lot of, crazy things, in my opinion. But then, but I can't, I will never tell the people to, hey, we'll go Republican, because the Republicans are ballless weaklings. They every time, oh, well, you're racist. Oh, don't give me the word racist. No, don't do that. Like, stand up. Stand out. And not let them put you down. You're not that. Talk about it. Do that. So that's just something that we need to, it needs to be looked at. So I got the clip ready now. I apologize for the beginning part of this. That's me. But I wanted to talk about. Listen, so you heard that. You heard that. You saw that. Again, God bless Mark Robinson because he is literally doing what he's supposed to do. So right here, I want to play what I want to finish off what I did last week, which I found out is more disgusting than it is. And again, these were white and a little Latino women who are liberal, who are I could bet my house, and bet my $500,000 house that are vote Democrat and everything. Listen, remember I talked about in Chicago where they're trying to pass this law. They're not pass the law. I'm sorry. They're going the school district, a certain school district want to vote by race. I mean, I'm sorry. Dang it. Clear my mind. They want to grade by race. So you're not graded by your academic features, your academic skills, your knowledge, your skill, your know-how. No. But if you are disruptive in the class, you don't get no punishment. If you don't show your work, you don't get no punishment. If you don't do your homework, you don't get no punishment. Well, I found out that it's way worse than I thought. And I'm like, this Miss Sullivan, who's the woman I talked about, who is really a crazy woman.
You piece of loser.
She is talking about this is transformative education to make black kids stupider. That's what this is all about. So I got the clip now. Let's listen into the nonsense. And again, if you want to get more what I read into it, what I showed the article, go to you can go to last show, the last 76, and you'll see I read an article about how they're doing on kids. But anyway, let's go with this.
For it, which is unbelievable. Black Lives Matter, the Marxist organization that's amassed tens of millions of dollars that they squander as they see fit. Anyway, mentioned this yesterday early in the show, and oh my gosh, there was just such a reaction to it. I thought I'd drop it in for you, you good folks. It comes out of the part of the world where Judy and I both grew up, suburban Chicagoland, specifically Oak Park and River Forest High Schools. It's a big district, huge district, many thousands of students. And this is local coverage I'm quoting from. They will require teachers next year to adjust their classroom grades and their grading scales to account for the skin color or ethnicity of their students.
That is literally, figuratively, non-crazy. That is straight up racism. These are the same people, we gotta stop racism. This is straight up racism. Let's continue.
School board members discussed the plan called Transformative Education, Professional Development, and Grading.
That is one thing government and people who are high intelligence have. They want to make these long, grandizing statements and stuff like that. For what reason? And all of it is under the veil, pieces of crap.
In an effort to equalize test scores among racial groups. Wait a minute. Let me just stop myself right there. You want to equalize test scores among racial groups? Wouldn't you decide, all right, one group is having troubles here, so let's make sure they know the material? Wouldn't you do that? Throw more resources at a particular group? I mean, if you want to divide kids by race and education, which I don't, but you identify somebody who needs extra help, wouldn't you say, let's give them extra help? Well, they kind of are. Here's what they're going to do. In order to equalize those test scores, the district will order its teachers to exclude from their grading assessments variables it says disproportionately hurt the grades of black students. Again, I must stop myself. A sentence ago, we were talking about test scores. Now we're talking about in-class grades, which is a different thing, not the standardized achievement tests.
That's true.
So I'm already a little confused about what's going on here, but the next sentence. These students of color can no longer be docked for missing class, misbehaving in school, or failing to turn in their assignments, according to the plan.
Are you crazy? That's what I'm saying. That's so stupid.
And my question would be, how unwise, how
Yes.
naive, how
Yes.
friggin'
Stupid.
do you have to be to not anticipate what's going to happen if you no longer have disincentives for missing class, misbehaving in school, or not turning in assignments? I mean, do I even have to answer that rhetorical question for anybody?
I know someone who's a teacher at a school where they have that sort of policy, and they are quitting, as have many of their friends, because it gets out of hand pretty fast.
Really? Can you believe it that stuff get out of hand pretty quick when you do not take the kids and have them be obedient? For anybody out there who's my age know about this little movie, which is a good movie, called Lean On Me. We see what happened when the teachers ain't got no control over it. And now they're trying to do the reverse on Mr. Clark. They're trying to make the reverse just because white liberal women like, oh, I want to help the black kids by making them stupider, by making them more disobedient, for making them unprepared for when they gotta go in the world and they may have a deadline that they can't keep the deadline, and the boss will like, well, fire them. You're gonna cause more problems, more transgression, more anger, and they're gonna be doing more crime.
Well, nobody's going to show up to class. If they do, they're going to misbehave, and no one's going to turn in the assignments, and there will be no repercussions.
Exactly.
But the problem is, Jack, and I quote, traditional grading practices perpetuate inequities and intensify the opportunity gap. So far, we've had the switcheroo. We're talking.
The traditional grade. No, the traditional works, okay? It works. It's just that some of these kids need help. Not all, some. And also, what about the situation? Again, they're black, like I said, there are black kids out there who are smart, there are black kids out there dumb. There are white kids out there smart, there are white kids out there dumb. There are Asian kids out there smart, and Asian kids are dumb. They have all of them. But the culture of some Asian is to work hard in schools. Some whites have that. Some blacks have that. My mom was a single mom, but she was not playing around with me when she talked about grades and stuff. She made that, and my sister. She made sure that we did that. My girlfriend, we were talking about it just a while ago. She was talking about how her parents made her so she could be in the honor roll as well too. So it's not a black thing per se, even though it's the more bigger revolving. It's more that we need to fix and stop giving excuses and lowering down the threshold. Which, when we get to the part where you're lowering down the threshold, oh my goodness, it ain't a joke.
Tests in one moment, then we're talking grades, then we're not talking about helping students, we're talking about faking up their grades, and that's in the service of what is called diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice.
Oh no! What the hell I gotta do with learning in school? None of that is correct. All these non-profit within which they're not organization makes things worse. They don't make it better.
Throwing in justice now for the same price. The new plan calls for district leaders. They describe it as competency-based grading, eliminating zeros from the grade book, encouraging and
That's what had me when I read it last week too. You're eliminating zeros from the grade book. But it gets worse.
Rewarding growth over time. And here's the one part of this where it makes a little bit of sense. You're supposed to figure out if the kids learn it eventually. Maybe they don't do the homework. Maybe they fail the quiz, but let them take it over and over again. And if eventually they learn the stuff, then okay, they've learned the stuff. And if it were not for the chaos in the classrooms, I would think, okay, that has some points in its favor. Again, as long as the kids learn the stuff eventually, they learn it. But the problem is that whenever they try this stuff, the kids don't learn the stuff. They get fake grades, they get passed up, they get a fake diploma,
Exactly.
and they continue to perform miserably
in real life.
The aptitude test.
Yes.
For instance, according to the Illinois State Board of Education, 38% of district sophomores failed taking the aptitude test. 38%. But it's 77% for black students.
Wow.
50% of Hispanics, 27% of Asians, 25% of whites. Advocates for so-called equity-based grading practices, which seek to raise the grade point averages of black students and lower scores of high-achieving Asians and whites and Hispanics, say grading criteria are necessary to further school district.
Wait, why are we lowering kids who are smart? That don't make no dang sense. What the hell is that? Again, these people are mentally ill.
Mission of DEIJ, or diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Notice they don't even claim to enhance learning.
Thank
All they
you.
do is change the grades.
Thank you.
Who has the conscience so, I don't know, bereft of conscience? Or how can you be so unwise as to think this is a good idea? I'm continually astounded by how stupid intellectuals can be.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't get
I
how
should
somebody
say
doesn't
too.
raise their hand in one of those meetings and say, but even if we make sure they graduate or get the degree or whatever it is, they didn't actually learn these things. So how are they gonna make it in the world?
Thank you.
How's nobody raise their hand and ask that question?
Thank you.
I know it. You're right. That's so basic and so obvious, and in its basicness wise. Here's their counter-argument. By training teachers to remove the non-academic factors from their grading practices and recognize when personal biases manifest, districts can proactively signal a clear commitment toward diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Grading practices based on traditional classroom testing and homework and not like punching the teacher in the face are outdated practices that foster unconscious biases. Teachers may unintentionally let non-academic factors like student behavior, whether a student shows up to a class, interfere with their final evaluation of students, etc. You're dooming these kids to...
Does that? Oh my God! Like you said, you're doing these kids to failure. You literally setting up to be stupid. That's why a lot of these kids are dumber than they're smart. Technology, they got no problem. And you could do some good stuff with technology. There's a lot of more millionaires and billionaires because of technology. Granted that. But man, the majority of you is just like winning the jackpot. Majority of y'all ain't gonna do that. And then when you get to regular jobs to make money, whatever, you're gonna fail. And you'll be like, oh, why my boss is so mean? You don't do the work. You don't help. You don't do nothing. You don't achieve nothing. And then, of course, they say they do this for black kids, and these are the same black kids, including like young boys. What are they gonna do? They already don't have single moms. Most black kids have single boys have single moms, and they're gonna go do what? Oh wait, they're gonna do crime. And then of course that keeps the population of black people in check because they don't give a damn about. So you see, like Robinson just said, they don't care about when the Chicago kids are killing each other. But when all the other stuff, they put the energy towards that crap just for the political points.
Failure in life. You're absolutely dooming them. And it's not because they live in a society full of white supremacy. It's because they live in a society full of same standards they got in Korea, same standards they got in China, same standards they got in Russia. You got to show up and do the job.
Exactly.
I wasn't advocating by throwing out the idea of, so you get those scores, you realize that the number's so much higher for black kids to not do well in the tests, so you want to throw more money at black kids in school. I'm not advocating that because I would certainly hate if you got a white kid who's struggling. It matters to the individual.
Exactly.
So if you got a white kid who's struggling, they're not going to get the resources because they're white.
All right.
So stupid.
Of course not.
So how about we just figure out a way to somehow get the underperforming kids, whatever their race is,
exactly,
to perform better. Yep. I realize that's complicated.
How on its head have we turned education in that, traditionally speaking, if you cheated, they said you're only cheating yourself. Now, the entire system is trying to cheat those kids.
Yeah.
By not having them actually learn.
Correct.
How crazy. These cultists are so dangerous.
And as groups and not individuals.
Right. Based on the color of their skin.
Obviously, if I got 3 kids in front of me that are failing, they could all 3 be failing for 3 completely different reasons. Mm-hmm. He's not very bright, so it's going to be harder for that kid. He's plenty bright, but lazy. He's plenty bright, but has a horrible home life.
Exactly.
Those are three completely different situations.
Exactly.
From the bright and lazy camp, getting my ass kicked was the best thing that ever happened to me. No question. Not even close. Last year, this same news outlet, West Cook News, which covers the western part of Chicagoland. Well, actually, it used to be the western part. Now it's right in the middle. Anyway, last year, they reported on the same school district that lowered the standard for an F. Jack, guess what you have to get percentage-wise for a class?
This is the part that made me like, what the hell?
Right. So you have to do even worse than you used to have to do to get an F? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, in essence. What percentage do you have to get in a class to get a passing grade? I'll let you guess. Throw something out.
I don't know.
Unless you don't want
an F has always been like under 60% or something. Do you know, Michael?
That's correct.
Let's say 23%.
Come on.
That's hilarious. No, seriously, anything below, 90 plus is an A, 80 plus is a B, 70 plus is a C, 60 plus is a D.
Yeah.
That's fairly universal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Well, take that 60 and tear it apart. If you get 20% in this school district, you've passed the class.
My guess is actually too high.
That's yeah.
You 20% and you pass? Holy
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
20%.
You're right. Yeah, well, you're probably a racist, Michael. 20%, and they tell you you passed, go on to the next
You
grade.
can get a D with a 20.
Yes. And that's helping the kids. Folks, we are through the looking glass.
Yep.
I don't even know how to approach this at this point other than to tell you, fight this with every fiber of
Exactly.
you. These cultists who are
Exactly.
ruining American education. That's not an overstatement. Between that and teaching your kids racism and teaching, I've got a list of the New York Public School reading list for first and second graders. All the Johnny's really a girl and Johnny shouldn't be told to be a boy for
Exactly.
6-year-olds.
Exactly.
So
Cultists.
You're angry and correctly so, but I'm hung up on this grading system. So
Yes.
did they change any of the other ones?
Yep.
I mean, it's like an A down to 75, and I can still get a B with a 50, or is it just the F? So to make sure that you pass, because I know that's the main goal, is they don't want anybody to flunk.
Yep.
Yes, actually, yes. I've clicked back to the story, excuse me, from a year ago. Let's see. According to the College Board, which manages standardized high school tests for 6,000 universities, a traditional 4.0 grade point average scale scores anything below 65% as failure. Anything below 65 is failure.
Yep.
In the new system, students managing 65% will receive a B.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa! 65 is a B. What? Oh, that this is my era. But they're always shooting for a B guy.
The College Board reports. Yes, Michael.
That used to be a solid D. I only know that because my mom was a teacher. Yeah,
Oh, you
that was a
passed
D.
by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah.
65 is a B.
B. Holy
B's used
crap.
to start at 80. That's an A in this new system. You'll get a C if you score 40% or better.
Wow, you're going to have a lot of A students. If an 80 and above is an A, you're going to have a lot of straight
That's
A
why it's a
students
great
that
influence.
are convinced then, I'm going to walk out into the world and just, kick ass and take names.
That's the part that killed me. And he's so young, little,
You piece of loser.
gonna think that they're smarter than me because they no. Like I said, they have. I've said it before. A dangerous person is a person who has knowledge but no wisdom. And these young little whippersnappers are gonna come out thinking, I'm smart. I got an A in all my classes. Yeah, you got freaking an 80. I got a 90, a 95 and higher, and you think you're smarter than me because you got a lot of 80s? No, that's a B. You were a B student. I was an A student. That's the difference. Jeez.
I'm a straight A student because I got straight 80s on everything.
One of the great phrases that's ever been used to describe this sort of thinking. And Jack, you can finish the sentence for me. I'm sure you can. The soft bigotry of
low
No
expectations.
listen to this. This school district official who's head of the history division says will award C grades to students scoring between 40 and 59. So 40 plus is a C. On her syllabus, she describes students earning a C as having met expectations.
So what is more racist than saying for black
Thank you.
kids, we're going to have to change the scale that a 20 is passing because black kids, you can't expect them to learn. What is more racist than that?
I say this, it sounds like I'm being silly, but I'm not. Frederick Douglass and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and
Washington Carver.
And all the great black scholars, thinkers, Thomas Sowell,
Yep. Obama.
Barack Obama, he
Yep.
ought to advance with their fists swinging into that school district because the horrific level of racism displayed there is unforgivable.
And I think about it, kill me. This is in Chicago, of course. Barack Obama's back town. Like I say, this is the part where I'm like, you don't care. You talk all the blah, blah, blah. You crack a joke. You're a smooth talker, Barack Obama. And I give you that. And again, I voted for you the first time, but this is the stuff, like I said, if you can't fix stuff in your own state and something like this, that's why I see your failure.
Frederick Douglass would fight those people and should for saying that.
Yep.
And yet it's enshrined now in one of our biggest school districts.
Any thoughts? Text line 415-295-KFTC.
There you go. Dumbing it down so these kids think they're smart, but they're not. Inflating the grades, inflating these heads, and when they get out, that's why a lot of these kids don't know simple reading, simple writing, know how to do simple arithmetic, don't know how to do certain things, but we're teaching them all about being prideful and all this stuff, which again was a sin in the whole point. And I still do not understand this Pride Month situation. What do I give a damn that you have sex with somebody? Like, that's to be prideful of? So you have sex with a man, a woman. What's that? That's behind closed doors. Do it. I don't care if it was a man and a woman. That's not for anybody to be proudful about. That's so stupid. We take such small, abstract meaning things and give it so much grandeur. It's so idiotic. I used to, who is Janelle Monáe? I've shown on this program before. I had respect for that lady. And I have her as a song artist, but I have. She says she's non-binary. Okay, then if that's the case, then you cannot fight for women then because you're not a woman. According to what you just stated, you're non-binary. It's just so idiotic. None of it don't make no logical sense. That's the part about it. I'm not hateful to people who are gay or trans, whatever. No, you live your life, you do your things, okay. But when you try to make the world change to your reality, which it never will, and like Oprah came with that stupid term, my truth, which basically means my lie. Because as soon as anybody says, well, that's my truth, her truth, I'm saying, but I don't disbelieve them. I don't think, okay, you're lying. What? There's no such thing as my truth. There's the truth. That's what it is. There's no my. It's the. And that's what we're keeping it at. If you grew up and you want to be a transgender, I've said multiple times, I don't care. Go at it. Have fun. Do that. Like I said, you go and you get a full operation and turn from a man to a woman. I'm going to call you a woman. Your name, you change your name to Susan? I'll call you Susan. I'll call you Susan. I won't be disrespectful for you. I won't be hate for you. I won't do nothing. You change your life. That's your choice. You did it on your own money. I have more respect for you than anybody out there who uses government money. One, I forgot the name of the damn private manning and stuff like that. Like, no. And again, keep in these children's schools, because I think I have it in Texas today. It makes no sense. Let me get it straight. I said again, same thing happened with Desmond Amazing. You need to be 21 and up to go to a strip club. But Desmond went to a gay strip club where he was the talent, and they were throwing money and putting money at the kid. If that ain't child abuse, I don't know what. That's straight up child abuse. I guarantee that that boy is not gonna be a happy boy when he grows up. He's gonna be a miserable person. As many times they put a lot of stuff, oh, show RuPaul, whatever. I don't watch it, but I have no problem with it because you know what? That's grown men making this stuff, and people who want to watch that, they could go watch that. You have the freedom to do that. But it's so weird that we're gonna have the Pride before the fall. We're gonna be our Pride month. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't, like I said, it's not. It just makes no sense. I gotta be prideful of who I'm having sex with. That's so stupid. Over sexual orientation. That's barely anything to be proud of. But whatever, because I'm not. I guess the people are like, oh, well, ain't you proud to be black? Again, I didn't have no choice of being born black. No choice at all. So how could I be proud of something that I had no choice in? I'm proud I have air. Thank God there's air around here so I can breathe. If I wasn't here, the air would still be here. So it's so stupid how we try to take these accolades and just put them to astronomical heights to make us feel good. It's just, oh my goodness, that's what it is. Feelings is the number one currency right now. That really is. Feelings is the number one currency right now. And that's sad. And I feel sad for a lot of these people. Oh my God. So, since we're talking about, like I say, saving kids and doing that stuff, of course, we have to go to, John Stossel talking about this because, again, it's just ridiculous. It is really ridiculous what these guys have been doing. That's God. You could get a 20 and still pass. You're making some dumb kids out there, man. Some really, really dumb kids. Good grief. On to the next segment.
School shooting in South Florida.
17 people shot to death.
What can be done about school shootings? Some say kids will be safer if some teachers carry guns. President Trump said that.
We need to let people know, you come into our schools, you're going to be dead.
Trump was mocked for suggesting teachers have guns.
Arm a teacher is completely insane.
It's a terrible idea.
A terrible idea.
So wait, it's a terrible idea. We could let them teach our kids how to be children, let's go lop off your breast if you're a young girl. Let's cut off your D to be a woman, all that stuff. We could teach them that, but it's a terrible idea. But for protecting them from getting killed, it's a bad idea. Man, you people, you politicians.
You piece of loser.
But Trump's critics probably don't even know that many teachers have brought guns to school for years. In Texas, teachers carry in about 200 schools. This high school advertises that.
I can see that sign out on the highway. Boy, it's a great, man.
Parents we interviewed here like the policy.
It's a good idea.
I think we need it.
It makes me feel safer.
I love the King gun policy.
Superintendent Ricky Stevens created it, saying if there's trouble, teachers want to go defend the kids.
We know our staff and our teachers are going to go. Do we want them to go with a pencil or go with a pistol?
And it's like Charles Robinson said in the first segment. Who is the first responder? It's going to be you. Always you. I am going to be the first responder, not the cops. Always that.
Against it.
This Florida student says teachers carrying guns is a terrible idea.
You're asking a teacher to fight an assault rifle with a handgun. That's
Yeah, let me help you out there, young white boy who's being programmed. A black woman shot a guy with her handgun that had a assault rifle. Oh, and stop him from doing a mass shooting. What's the best way to stop a bad guy with a gun? Even if it's and it's not an assault rifle either, too, because that's a name. That's a made up term. What stops a bad guy with a gun? A good guy with a gun. When cops stop the shooting in Washington, D.C., New York, and all that stuff, the news media do not proclaim this. When this, what do you call those kind of officers again? Dang it. Man, I forgot the name of the officer. Those kind of officers you have in the schools. Truancy officers. I think something like that. Like there's been stuff in California, there's been stuff in New York that stopped these people who come with guns and stop them. Why? By shooting them with a gun. And the only reason these people know to go there, they're like, oh well, there's no people with a gun there. I could go there and become infamous and shoot up a lot of people and get my name worldwide because there's nobody there to stop shooting.
Seems like a pretty unfair fight to me.
The teachers have handguns against somebody with a big gun. That's not much.
It's not much, but it's better than nothing. If you go there with nothing, you have no chance of stopping anything.
The police come. They see your teacher with a gun. How do you keep them from shooting her?
We train a lot with our local law enforcement. So that helps us because we want them to at least know we're there and at least recognize us.
Yes.
If they happen to get shot while they're stopping a tragedy, all of our guardians have said, that's just the price of being a guardian.
His teacher saw how during the Florida school shooting, the security guard waited outside.
It made me mad.
It's a reason she's glad she can carry her gun at school.
You have to have a fighting chance if something should happen at our school.
We hid her identity because she and the school don't want a potential attacker to know which teachers are armed.
Are you carrying now? Of course.
Many people say armed teachers create new dangers.
Teacher accidentally fired a gun in his classroom.
At this California school, a teacher mistakenly shot at the ceiling. One student was slightly hurt by falling debris. But that's the only incident we could find where a student was injured.
Took a rifle to his...
On the other hand, armed teachers have stopped school shootings.
16-year-old Luke Woodham has been arrested.
When this student killed two classmates, an assistant principal with a gun held the killer at gunpoint until police arrived.
Exactly.
We don't know how often armed teachers deter shootings. The media can't cover crimes that never happened. The media also distort what President Trump proposed.
Donald Trump said teachers should have guns. Teachers should not be required to protect and serve and to teach.
Required? No teacher's required to carry. It's voluntary. Those who want to bring their guns to school can.
Exactly.
Here's another distortion.
I really do not support the idea of arming teachers.
Arming teachers. Arming teachers. A new federal program? That's not what the president proposed. Lots of teachers already have guns. All a school has to do is allow some to bring their guns to school. At the Keene School District, however, Superintendent Stevens did create a new government program.
The school purchases a gun, and then we give them and register them to our teachers.
That way, he says, he can make sure all teachers have training in the same type of gun.
Exactly. Yep.
Finally, as we ponder the best way to keep students safe, we should address the scariest myth.
The epidemic of shootings.
Epidemic of school shootings.
Despite what the media say, there is no epidemic of school shootings. No sharp increase. School shootings kill far fewer kids than driving, suicide, drowning, even suffocating. Why now? School shootings are not in a big uptick.
Exactly right. But we prepare for them because if even one shooting happens, it's more than we would want.
You're 10 times as likely to die suffocating.
Right.
I mean, you can't protect against all these things.
No, but we do train our kids in school how to not suffocate and how not to drown.
Certainly, Stevens' armed teacher program is cheaper than what my town does. New York City spends hundreds of millions of dollars stationing police officers in and around schools. Of course, here and in most blue states, suggesting that some teachers carry weapons horrifies people.
They don't understand that a responsible, trained teacher with a firearm is better than having a teacher with nothing. Texas will definitely probably be leading the way when it comes to protecting our kids with weapons, and that New York would choose to go a radically different way.
Of course they
would.
would.
I'm glad that we live in a country where the local people can decide what goes on in their school district and not a bunch of people in New York City.
It's good that America has 50 states. That allows experiments.
Yep.
Teachers in New York City may fear guns, but teachers in Texas can serve and protect.
Amen to that, Stossel. That's all it is. And again, as I said it before, the media is what helped push most of this stuff anyway, by grandizing and making some of these shooters infamous. The thing about it is, we don't know all of it, but we know most of the characteristics. And that's why I talked about in the last show when I said, the show before that, episode 75, when I said, these young men are raised by single mothers. They're more emotionally not adept. They're quick. Their hair trigger. They're razor thin. They don't feel accommodated as the schools push more females than men to do stuff, boys to do stuff. These boys are despondent. They're discouraged. And then they get into depression. And they think the best thing to do is to go and do horrible things to become some kind of infamous thing. Again, I'll say it again. Just like that Hispanic woman with her son. Oh, he has his reasons to do this. What reasons did he have to do this, crazy chick?
No, son of a bitch!
There's no reason this young man had other than you are a horrible parent. You failed him. You did not let the kid see his father to have the understanding of discipline or whatever, and he went and killed children. Despicable, despicable, despicable. And you are a
You piece of shit.
mother. You are. Sorry, but you are for what you said. Just ridiculous. Well, I can't be all hard and stringent. I gotta do a little bit of like a little bit of joking around and stuff. Now this ain't it's jokes per se, but it's sad. It is sad. This man is the president of our United States. And again, I must perceive gas prices is still going up. They're not coming down. I said we ain't even in summer yet. Look, we're in summer now. And look what these gas prices are. And most of these are because of government. And I'm telling you this right now. Do not let no government, none, not a Democrat, not a Republican, or independent, let none of them fool you to say, oh, we need to raise up taxes. F them. Vote no on every single friggin' tax bill. Because who caused the inflation right now? It's government. Pure and simple. It wasn't regular people. It was government who created this inflation. So let me get it straight. You need more money to do what? When you printed more money to give out to people and make this situation worse than it is? No. F yourself. Seriously. No.
Taxes.
No.
Beautiful, lovely taxes.
Thanks for taking my money.
Exactly. Now that's a smart young lady. But I'm serious. Do not let them fool you. Vote no on all tax raises, because a lot of teachers unions, they got billions of dollars because of the COVID thing, and they ain't and as you can see what we just talked about in the 2 segments ago, they're gonna teach your kid to be stupid. They got more money, but they're gonna teach your kids to be more stupid. Yeah, that's a great trade-off. And then you'll raise my taxes and I gotta pay for more stuff. No. Do not let them fool you. Do not let them trick you. Oh, we need more taxes for the schools, and we need more taxes for the police officers and the firefighters. No. You guys caused the inflation problem. You guys caused the gas problem. You shouldn't fix that as first before you go take more money from me. Okay? With that said, let's go to our stupid, bumbling chief of staff, whatever it is. This is just sad. Literally sad.
Whatever it is that he does with his time to sit down with former comedian Jimmy Kimmel. Because, well, if he sat down with even the most liberal hack of a supposed journalist, they wouldn't be able to help themselves from asking at least one serious question about what the heck is going on. Old Joe expressed his frustration that most people don't think that he's done anything good for the country, and the reason for that is because people just haven't heard about all the great things that he's done.
There's a lot of major things we've done, but what we haven't done is we haven't.
What major things have you done? Every single policy that you've created, sir, has been crap. Literally crap.
I haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
This is our president. Y'all talk about Trump. This is our president. He can't even get through a sentence. Seriously.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well,
we haven't been able to communicate
But
it.
look how the press has changed.
Yeah, look how the press has changed. They went from imagining problems and concocting countless conspiracy theories that they blamed on President Trump every single day to doing their best to ignore the actual problems that you're causing the country. And instead have been hearing January 6th insurrection reruns on TV every single night for the last year and a half. But despite manning a sinking ship that is the United States of America that he rammed into an iceberg, he's very optimistic.
It's like we're living in two countries at once.
Yeah, and
it's
so,
like you can
But I've
be.
never been more optimistic in my life, so I'll tell you why.
Why are you so optimistic?
No,
it makes no sense.
No, it does.
Ain't that the truth?
Look at the kids. Look at the young people. Best educated.
The go back to the first segment. Like I said, the second segment. Huh? Best educated in what? They're getting stupider.
Least prejudice.
That's another lie. They're worse prejudice right now. Because if you don't say my pronoun, you're a bigot. If you don't like the way that I got my hair in multicolors, you're a bigot. I wear a mask because I'm tough and stuff, whatever. But take the mask away. Oh, don't look at my pimple face. But when you got a mask on, oh, you a punk, whatever. They're more bigoted and more prejudiced now, Joe Biden, than ever.
This generation is going to change everything. We just got to make sure we don't give up.
Well, they're going to change everything. They're already doing a good job of making kids stupider. And also, these same kids are coming up with more dumb things like the challenges where you, and again, Tide Pod, condom nose, all these dumb challenges. At the beginning, I used to be like, oh man, don't do this. I'm like, you know what? Darwin says, do fit the world, the strong will survive. Go right ahead. Do it. I don't care no more. Like George Carlin said, the kid that swallows marbles should not grow up to be like changing lives for other people like that. Seriously.
The only thing that they're changing is their gender. After
Exactly.
these Generation Z kids are even more messed up than the millennials by an order of magnitude. I do hold out hope that Generation Z ultimately rebels against the political correctness, the anti-whiteism, and the sexual degeneracy that's been pushed on them. But at this point, the only thing that might save them from being brainwashed by TikTok videos is if a solar flare knocks out the power to the entire planet.
Yeah,
And Joe also
that's
mentioned
true.
his favorite thing about television these days.
Turn on the TV. Look at the ads. When's the last time you saw biracial couples on TV?
No, you mean when last we seen biracial couples on TV?
When's the last time you saw the way, people are selling products, they do ads to sell products, and they sell products when they appeal to people.
What you talking about, mister?
Seriously, what the heck? He's our president. That man's the president who can't get... Good God.
What he was trying to say there is he's extremely happy about the ultra diversity that we've all noticed ever since the Black Lives Matter insurrection of 2020, and he talks about it a lot.
I challenge you, find today, when you turn on the stations, sit on one station for 2 hours, and I don't know how many commercials you'll see, like 8 to 5. 2 to 3 out of 5 have mixed race couples in them.
Yeah.
That's not by accident. They're selling soap, man. Not a joke.
A miracle happened during his appearance, however. Jimmy Kimmel actually made a joke that was funny.
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more, if you
don't
don't
blame
mind.
you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we have some of those commercials. We have some biracial commercials we need to show. We'll be back with President Biden.
Hey, he said it, not me, but everyone has noticed the demographic changes in television commercials over the last few years.
Yep.
And it is amazing because black people make up 13% of the U.S. population, but account for 97% of the people in commercials these days. Overall, the interview wasn't fun or funny. It was just sad.
Sad.
Joe Biden is aging like milk. And
Yep.
usually when a president or even a former president goes on one of the late night talk shows, you could still feel their aura of authority and their power. They're in control and the host is a little intimidated, but this was like someone talking with their elderly grandparent who they feel sorry for because they're so old and they have to treat them like a child. Instead of facing actual supposed journalists, he goes on a late night talk show and then rolls out a celebrity, Matthew McConaughey, to go and talk to the press. And the January 6th hearing starts tonight, so it's basically going to be a recap of the countless conspiracy theories that the Democrats and the liberal media industrial complex have come up with over the last year and a half. And yes, I'll watch it so that you don't have to, but that means that you got to order my new Ultra.
So I'll leave it at that. Like I said, that's our president. Y'all talk about Trump. I don't give a that. That's our president. And I watched a video where a lot of people was like, there was a video was saying, do you want Biden now or Trump? And it was funny enough. The person who said that was foreigners who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Most of the Americans, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, they were like, yeah, I voted for this fool and this fool got us in more trouble. I'm like, thank you. Now, again, I knew what was going to happen. That's why they not voted for him. Because again, I'm a white man in black skin, according to Biden, since he said, "Hey, if you don't vote for him, I ain't black." So I ain't black by his, by his. I would love to meet him and just say, "Hey, President Biden," I would just crack the joke. I wouldn't be rude. I just like to be like, "So, you've done a lot of stuff for black people, right? Yeah. How about for my people? What? What are you talking about? You said because I didn't vote for you, and you said if I didn't vote for you, I ain't black, and I must be a white man in a black skin. So sorry, but what have you done? Because everything I predicted before you became president came true. Sadly, I back it up, and I got my receipts. So you know that I don't play that with that stuff like that. But man, it's sad. It's literally just sad. Really bad out there. So, I want to thank y'all for giving me your time, your ears, your eyes. Give us a moment. Yes. I want to also apologize. Last week, I was talking to some stuff late at night, so I didn't get a chance to do a side chat. So we're gonna be this Friday. Yes, we're gonna do a side chat. And I apologize for that. Guys, keep your eyes and ears open in your schools if you have kids. Make sure those kids are being protected, that they don't have this drag queen reading crap. Kick that out of there. That's not needed. We don't need that. Why regular men? Why don't you just go in there and read this thing? Why you gotta dress up like morons and idiots to do that? No, read the kids, whatever. Don't let them. Now they say, "Oh, don't play allegiance to America." Okay, I have no problem with that. But now you want to please allegiance to the rainbow flag? That's also bad. Critical race theory, that don't make no sense. Keep it out of there. Common Core math is also asinine. I've showed videos of many parents stepping up. Please keep stepping up and get in these schools. You had a child. You know what happened. You know when you went, that would have had a child. So you have a child. Protect the child's innocence, 1, and 2, make sure this thing happen. There's a movie on the Daily Wire called What is a Woman? Go look at that movie. I might do a reaction with my girl about that, because that right there is just so crazy. How these people who got high degrees, again, like we said in the segment with the thing, that Sullivan woman who has a degree and all that stuff, but her judgment is idiotic, stupid, and devastating to black kids. So she needs to go. Her thinking is idiotic and dumb. I don't care what paper you show me. It's not logical. It not make no sense. You're not gonna tell me, "Oh, pee on me and tell me that's rain." You ain't telling me that, okay? Stay in your school's district and keep with your kids, okay? Do what you gotta do. Private school, charter school, homeschool, do what you gotta do. Let these public schools run you crazy, all right? So, but that's it. Same thing with the rule is, evil comes in all shape, size, color, creed, height, weight, party, nationality, location, occupation. Evil is evil, okay? That's what it is. Remember, I've said it before, you take care of yourself, then your family, then your neighbors, then your community. You are the changer of many things. You know, my girlfriend wants to make sure she has a gun because of stuff, because she ain't stupid. She knows, again, just like me, we are our last line of defense and our first responders to any situation that get crazy. That's who we are, and so are you. So don't let the politicians trick you down that road and make you feel like you're in them. No, we want law-abiding citizens with guns to protect against the crazy nut job, idiotic people who don't follow the rules, no matter what it is. Like in Chicago, Chicago has the highest gun laws out there, and they're at least 20 murders per day. Hell, in some days with the black people, there's 500 people getting shot in a month. So how are these people getting shot if the guns is not in the cities? Make that work out, huh? With that said, check out Project Open Mic on Spotify and all the other places I was in. The link trees in the system, you can link to those things. With that said, remember, people are stupid, individual smart. Be that smart individual. This is Tig for Project Open Mic. Catch you tomorrow on Side Chat, and we'll keep on going. Peace out.